Creatives are restless people, and we are thankful for our creatives because they are always looking for new perspective. They're always looking for new arrangement to help us appreciate the world in which we live. Welcome to Oral Tradition and another adventure in Guyanese literature. Also, let's welcome a multi talented, creative Harold. Harold, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Pitambo. Glad to be here.
Great. I'm happy that we can connect. Um, the world is moving apace, and we are moving with the world. Uh, Harold, you've got an amazing output. What drives you? What drives you?
As a creative, I liken myself to a certain species, a shark. They say if this shark stops swimming, it sinks to the bottom. I have to just keep creating. It's something I just create. That's my life.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So I listened to your introduction about the restlessness, and I said, on the point, on the point. That's all I do. I write full time, I create full time.
Yeah,
I'm always working at something or the other.
yeah, yeah. Even when you're at rest, the mind is still ticking over.
Oh, yeah. That's something me and Michael Jordan we would talk about. The mind always works.
The mind's
It's
always.
like I listened to Bill Gates saying that he likes to wash dishes. When he's washing dishes, he gets creative ideas. I said, wow, that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Walking helps also.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of ideas come when I do my walking. Right. Let's start. Let's start off with a very healthy issue. What is the role of the artist in our society?
I've always said from a deep position of belief that the artist is the antenna of the society, the barometer of sorts. It is through the work of the artist we know that we have problems, we have things that needs to be addressed. And if you recall, when I started my theatrical career with the Barrel in 1987, I called my plays mirror plays because my whole intention was to reflect the society to my audience, for better or for worse, to show them the negatives and let them go home and think about their negatives. And if they are positive, they say, yes, we got things that we should be proud of. But my plays, beginning from my plays, I've always seen myself as someone who senses things within the society that could be remedied. And I use my plays in that context to do that. So I believe the artist is the antenna of a society.
So let me get this clear. You kind of send messages in your work.
Yes. And
Uh,
let me speak specifically about one play that would make it very clear. There was a time in Guyana when men would interfere with young girls, and before the parents of those molested children got to the courts, they would come by night and pay these mothers, these parents, huge sums of money. This thing disturbed me. And I wrote a play called Cockle House. It was a massive sold out. Because in this play, there's this woman with her man, and the man interferes with her daughter, and the play ends with a sort of court scene in a home where his daughter, the molester's daughter, is offering this woman huge millions, huge millions, huge millions. And I ended that play on a high point where the daughter of the guy says, 4 million, wouldn't that be enough? And I said, boom, cut the play right there. I wanted my audience to go home and think.
if it's worth it.
Go home.
Yeah.
if it's worth it. If they should do it, should it happen to them? So I see the artist as an antenna of the society,
Hmm.
a barometer of sorts, and it is through the artist's work people can know, he got problems or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that. That play has caught the imagination of the public because the word cockle was used afterwards.
Yeah, it was a very popular word.
It
It
became
was
very,
even a song, Temple and all of that.
you can be likened on to Shakespeare because those playwrights has given us words that came into usage. So cockle came into usage.
Yep. Though, I mean, I didn't create that word. I decided to use it because it was a popular word.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, ridiculous.
And when I produced in Guyana, I had a way of writing down players of names of plays, and I would go to the public and feel people out. And
Ah,
from that, I would really get good ideas. Like when I wrote Kessa Rail Girl and the Old Fool, that name came from the public. The people liked it. So, okay, then we like this one. So, and it worked. Kessa
yeah,
Rail Girl is a massive sold out.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's a good part of your work. There's a play that I like to focus on
Mhm.
because I think creatives are constantly being shortchanged. Desperate for relevance. Talk about that.
Relevance.
That's right. Talk about that. I mean, you have.
Desperate for relevance, a surreal drama of dead Caribbean writers in a curious hereafter. As a Caribbean writer, I would talk to you, talk to Michael, talk to many other creators in Guyana and the Caribbean, and there is this feel that we exist and we don't exist. We write and we are not recognized. Uh, it seems as though our work has no relevance to the grassroots people. And I thought of CLR James, who I heard was living like an old man in obscurity. Nobody know, nobody in K. Who's he? Who's the old man there? He's a writer. Where is the?
Yeah.
And it continues. It continues.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided that, you know what, let me write a play with these dead writers.
Ah.
And one of the stars in my play was Sheikh Sadiq. Sheikh and many of these other Caribbeans, right? These guys are having fun, they're talking, they're debating. But the key debate in the hereafter, in this purgatory, this purgatory of sorts, is that these writers are looking down and realizing that nobody is reading their work.
Oh my.
And I create a sort of penalty. If you are dead and nobody's reading your work down in the Caribbean, you are going to fade into irrelevance. There's a sort of spiritual part in this hereafter where if your work is not being read, you disappear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was a work that I felt proud about because I incorporated Louis Bennett, Selvon, a lot of dead guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would have been taken up by, you know, Caribbean theaters. But nobody, as we say, vunks on the play. I never heard back from anyone about the play. I said, what is going on? Because I'm aware that often Guyanese writers and writers in Trinidad and Tobago, we are not together. Like I remember when I came to Brooklyn, I came with this big idea. I'm going to be this big theatrical producer in America. But of course, it's a lot we don't understand. So I came to Brooklyn and I put on one of my plays, but it was only supported by a small group of Guyanese. Trinidadians who heard of it told their Guyanese co-workers, hey, they got a Guyanese play, y'all ain't going. In other words, there's a certain splinteredness in the Caribbean which is going to harm us, which harms us.
Which harms us, yeah. Yeah.
We need inter-Caribbean reading. And if we get inter-Caribbean reading, we would be able to form a publishing center, a publishing company, because Guyana can't form its own publishing company. It can, yes, but they won't make any money. We ain't even got 1 million people. What we need is a CARICOM publishing company, but that would only make sense if we have inter-Caribbean reading.
That's right.
So Desperate for Relevance pulled together a whole lot of dead creatives languishing in the hereafter because nobody cares about their books.
What a pity. What a
That's a
pity.
pity.
What a pity.
It's
You
too cold.
mentioned C.L.R. James just now, and it brings to mind um, Forster, Ivan Forster. I mean,
Ivan, Faro.
yes. Faro, yes. Look how, I mean, that's just one writer, but there are many others,
There are many. There's Ras Michael June, Ras Michael,
Ross Michael,
you know,
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
sad story, you know.
Yeah. E- Even the people, our sportsmen and women, other creatives, they are forgotten.
Habib Khan,
Habib Khan, yeah, yeah. Imagine, imagine a man like Habib Khan, gone, forgotten. Yeah?
yeah, died alone. From what I read, some neighbor taking pity and give me some food.
Uh-uh.
That's wrong, man. You know,
Yeah,
I've heard of artists who get diabetes and died, and it's as though we don't exist, as though it's like it doesn't matter.
yeah.
And let me go right back to the question is being asked: why is it we are the way we are? It seems as though we are a nation of Philistines. We don't care about anything cultural. And I was telling a friend, let us go back to when I was young. I said to a friend, I'm going to be a writer. And he says, you think you white? And you understand the whole breakdown. We were we were oriented to feel that things like writing and creativity is not for the likes of us. We got to work hard by the sweat of our brows. Don't think about being creative. It's nonsense. You're gonna beg your bread. I was told that. You're gonna beg, you want to be a what? An artist? You're gonna beg your bread. So
Sad,
it
sad.
hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm,
It hasn't changed.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Look at the Guyana Prize. When President Hoyt established the Guyana Prize, the intent was to make it something so broad that the average person will say, yes, we have writers. And for a minute, it worked. I remember when I won for Makantali, they sent for me, I received the award, and when I was going back, there was a security guard at Temeri. The man said, Makantali, Makantali, and I felt good. This was a regular guy who understood that here goes the man who wrote Makantali. But
That's right.
bit by bit, it got pulled back. It left the cultural center. It ended up in the Savannah suite of the Pegasus, and it became a highbrow bougie thing once more, and we lost it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's bad.
yeah. You talk about then. Let's focus a bit more on then,
Uh-huh.
Guyana then and now.
Nothing much has changed.
Not much has changed.
I don't
Mean
think so. I mean, it's my view.
no,
Nothing
no.
much has changed.
Your opinion. Yeah.
This is just my opinion. Okay, the University of Guyana had the Guyana Prize under control, and it was a prestigious prize. It was either you won for the best book or you aspire to win for the best book. It was a real prestigious prize where we had guys like Davidine and Digyar taking part because it was a prize for serious writers. But then the local poets and the local writers started complaining that the guys overseas winning all the prizes. And it got political, and somebody decided, oh, we have to appease the local writers, who I would call lazy. They are not writing deep enough. They are not researching. They are not into their craft. What would they expect? Their work would be mediocre.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I remember having to make it clear. I won with two wrongs in 1994, and two wrongs was written in my Hatfield Street home. Then I won with Macantali in 1996. Macantali was written in my Hatfield Street Lodge home. So the argument that Bascom and the rest of them outside and they got better opportunities. It's nonsense. It's not opportunities. It's how deeply you apply yourself to the craft of
Yeah.
writing. It's a craft. You have to learn it.
Yeah.
You have to research it. You have to read critically. That's all, Pitamba.